there is a cruel paradox for self-aware women, and it makes us so frustrated and makes our lives so much harder than they actually need to be. And we struggle more generally with the topics of prosperity, beauty, femininity. But any struggle for us is very frustrating because we cannot understand with the level of awareness that we feel inside of us. We know we are creative, intelligent, insightful. We know actually our potential and our value. You know, most of women struggle with their potential and value, and I guess in a way we will all constantly question it, and it will be an open topic. But we generally see our potential, we generally see that we are creative, we are insightful, we are intelligent, we are self-aware. So how can we feel so aligned, so aware, so regulated, and still not get the things that we want in life, or still struggle to manifest some things, and see some people maybe that we judge less intelligent, less aware, less insightful, get things maybe easier or faster than us. And it took me personally a lot of time to process all of that, juggle with all of that, really understand myself and what was going on. So that's why I really want to share with you today, to make you gain the time that I lost. And I feel there is mainly one thing that we really need to understand to, it's crazy to say, but to avoid making your self-awareness actually what's killing your true potential. When I say femininity, I'm not talking about an aesthetic. I'm not talking about red lipsticks, jewelry, clothes, even though it's fun to play with all of that. But really here, I'm not talking about this kind of very visual identity of the feminine woman, maybe elegance or this kind of things that you can play to embody if you want. There is no problem with that, but I really want to talk about the feminine energy, you know, the natural force behind most of the women that you authentically see juggling with everything with such grace and harmony and beauty, and manifesting, receiving, being in that soft but still abundant life. And personally, I'm convinced that this is the power of a woman, and this is her most easy, soft way to attain anything that she wants in life, because it's really inherent to us, it's really inside of us. We've been created with that energy, and so there is something naturally radiating with feminine energy. There is a glow, there is an easiness to receive and manifest, and I'm sure you can feel it when you are in that energy, or when you tap into that energy, because you always have that energy. It's not something that you need to create out of thin air. You already have it. You are a woman, you are the embodiment of feminine energy, but learning to tap into it, and when you do it, maybe sometimes even randomly, you tap into it and you realize the power that it has. And maybe you mistake it for beauty, or, you know, we talk a lot about beauty privilege, and I'm sure it exists. I'm sure I already experienced it. But there is also like a feminine privilege, like a way of convincing without raising your voice, a way of just being respected and admired and seen and heard, just being yourself fully, just embodying your femininity. I really believe in that, and I really experience it when I allow myself, because I grew up with three brothers and a very boyish mom, and it's still something that I need to sometimes tap into on purpose in my life. But that's why I realize how powerful it can be. The thing is that when you are self-aware woman, you generally know it, right? You know you're intelligent, you know you're insightful, you know you're creative, you know you have a lot to offer, you know you can trust your mind, and you can solve problems through your mind, and you can make sense of things, and you can rely on your intellect, your understanding of things, people, yourself. Your brain is like the most expensive thing you carry on at all time, right? Is it Salma Hayek who said that, I believe. And it's for sure an amazing trait to develop. I wish more people would be self aware. But the thing is that on paper, we expect this trait to offer us the life that we dream of. That because I'm self aware, it doesn't make sense. I should be more abundant. I should have my dream life. I should have my dream partner. I should have my dream body. I should manifest easily. And on paper, it works, but in real life, you can see that you might be very self-aware and still a lot of things are blocked in your life. A lot of things you can't still figure out how to manifest or create or pursue. And for a lot of self-aware women, they actually end up having it harder. So what happens is that being self-aware, being a self-aware woman is still an identity. It's a very positive one and it brings a lot of joy and even ego boost to know that about yourself and know that you can rely on your intelligence, intellect, brain. You can make sense of things. You can find ideas and these kind of things. You know, it's a very positive identity, but it's still an identity. And any identity has walls around it that might limitate you at some point. That's why you always need to be able to question any identity. And we tend to forget that's why they are actually sometimes more limiting than fear or anxious. Being an anxious woman is an identity, but when you are anxious, you know that's something you want to get rid of. You know that's something that doesn't feel good. But when you tell yourself, I'm a good person, I'm a self-aware woman, I'm this and that, it feels good. You have no reason to question it. You have no reason to change it or, think about it. And those positive identities can make us so stuck and so frustrated for so long until we realize that I'm just touching the wall of that identity. And I was so convinced that there should be no walls in that room because it's a positive one, positive room where I put myself. That I'm not even thinking that this is a wall. I'm just thinking that there is a problem. There is something I don't understand. And one of the wall of limitation that present when you unconsciously embody the self-aware woman is that you automatically cut yourself from beauty and from femininity. And this comes from the fact that society, maybe something, separated intelligence and beauty. Because I believe a woman with both, like really harmoniously embodying both her intelligence, her creativity, and her femininity and beauty and prosperity and natural abundance and softness. And that's a way too dangerous woman. A woman like that could take control, become president. She could stop being a consuming sheep, just buying lipstick after lipstick, trying to enter any mold. She could actually take control of her life, take space, influence, create things, rise from her condition. And babe, very few people want that for you. You know, we always talk about government, society, this, that. I don't know where it comes from. Is it patriarchy? Is it? But the truth is, whoever pushed that narrative that beauty is against intelligence or an intelligent woman cannot be beautiful and a beautiful woman is often completely stupid, it doesn't matter who pushed that narrative, because in general in your life there's a lot of people who don't want the best for you. There's a lot of people who don't gain anything into you taking your power, becoming more beautiful, becoming more prosper, abundant, or this and that. So maybe it's the patriarchy, maybe it's the governments, maybe it's the people through time, maybe it's a mix of all of that. But you can see that clearly we've been pushed a narrative accompanied with even a lot of jokes that I was myself making when I was a child about like blonde woman being stupid. You know, why would anyone teach a child that a blonde woman would be stupid, even as a joke? It doesn't make sense. What is the link? Have you ever stopped to think like, Who created that link that if you are a beautiful blonde woman, you would be like stupid? There is jokes, there is examples, there is people embodying themselves, probably unconsciously or sometimes consciously, because it can work, as a business to make money. It can work to play, the dumb blonde, and everyone relates to you because, yeah, she's the dumb blonde. We know the blondes are dumb, whatever. Some people embody that unconsciously or consciously. Yeah, I'm the beautiful, stupid girl. I knew girls at my university during my life. They were playing that part of the stupid girl because they thought it made themselves more beautiful. And in a sense, it does, because men and people have in mind that, okay, if she's stupid, she's at least beautiful, and if she's intelligent, she might be a bit neglected. And even if we don't believe in that narrative, it's printed in our subconscious for generations and generations. And so unconsciously, we embody self awareness, intelligence, almost always by cutting our own beauty and femininity in a way. And the worst is when we do that, we don't do it as something that we are pushed to do, or we believe it is us, we believe it is our decision, we believe it is our personality. Oh, I'm not into makeup so much. No, I prefer natural. Maybe. Or maybe you think that liking makeup will make you less of an intelligent, self aware, profound woman and will make you more superficial. And so you don't want to identify yourself with another club than your self aware woman, intelligent, profound club, you know? And I take the audacity to mock a little bit because I was that person. Oh, I don't care so much what I wear. I like actually to wear like loose things, like boyish things. Yeah, I don't care. I like to look natural. Oh, I really don't get along with other women. Yeah, never could. No, no, women, oof, they're not interesting. They're boring. Yeah, I don't get along with women. No, no, no. Beauty is so superficial. People who care about beauty, I cannot understand them. They are losing so much time with such a superficial topic. Ah, woman. And then you don't realize, because it feels so good for the ego to be part of a club, any club. You don't realize that just like that, you actually lose the game and lose your power. You lose your natural spark, your natural force and energy. Because, sorry if it's controversial, I'm trying to be a very nuanced person in this channel, but is it crazy to think that feminine energy is actually a big power for female women? Femininity is our power as women. We are born like this. It is linked to the softness of your life. It is linked to your appearance and general attractiveness, meaning not only physical attractiveness, but also what you can actually attract and manifest into your life. And so it's linked with your prosperity and abundance. It's linked to your love life. So many things that you maybe unconsciously block just because of an identity. And once again, femininity doesn't mean that you need to become suddenly a trade wife, okay? Femininity doesn't mean that you need to start wearing red lipstick or whatever specifics. Even though it could be interesting and a good starting point if you don't know where to start, to check where, even aesthetically, you might have strong opinions against something that looks feminine. I don't know if, for example, you're thinking, I hate red lipstick, it's not for me, or I have strong opinion against women wearing dresses all the time. Like, if you have something like that, it's worth digging into it. But I'm not talking in general about an aesthetic. Just find a way to remove any separation or opposition that you might keep unconsciously between beauty and intelligence. Because that's not real, first of all. Because beauty is the intelligence of ordering things in a correct way. And intelligence is the beauty of being able to put order into something that might seem to not have order. This is what happens when you have an idea, for example. A person with good idea is considered intelligent, right? But what is finding an idea? It's the beauty of just ordering different things that you have in your mind that don't make sense and look separate and putting them together. So literally, the separation that has been pushed between intelligence and beauty doesn't even exist because the two concepts are so linked with one another. And for sure, if you are a beautiful woman, there is some kind of intelligence inside of you to be able to just organize that beauty. And if you are a very intelligent, self aware woman, for sure there is beauty inside of you to be able to organize your thoughts so beautifully. This is just a narrative that has been pushed on us to keep us small, and it works, you know? And the more we embody like this, the more beautiful women embody being stupid, and self aware, intelligent women embody being neglected, the more we ourselves confirm that narrative for the next generations. And then once the model that you see in your life since childhood only represents one extreme or the other, what do you think you will keep believing and embodying? So the best way to go about it, if you recognize yourself or if you feel this topic calling you, or you think that there is something like this behind your self-awareness blocking you for yourself, first comment and subscribe to the channel and like this video. I've seen people do that, but really actually it helps if you just like the video, because I know this is a topic that you really like, and then I can make other video around the topic, diving even more into that topic. So if you really like that topic, because I have so much more to say, I'm trying to make it very concise for today. But if you like, just like this video, I will know that okay, they like this topic and I should talk more about that. But the first thing, if you recognize yourself, is to first understand where in your life this embodiment is actually blocking you, where this conditioning is directly impacting your life, and what you would want to manifest if you were not blocked by that. Where do you feel like there is a missing link, maybe with your femininity, beauty, prosperity? And take something very specific, maybe you argue a lot with your partner and you don't understand why, because you're very self-aware. You can see the patterns of his childhood, your childhood, you can understand everything, but still you argue a lot, and you would like to create a reality where you have a very peaceful, maybe couple relationship. Take something very specific. Why it is important? Because if you just dive into your femininity, this is just such a vast topic that you will lose yourself into it and just continuously do some personal development on a topic that doesn't really change anything in your life. And then at some point you will get like a bit brain tired, like I've been working on myself for so long, but my life is still the same. So the idea is not just to directly dive into changing your mindset, changing your belief, doing some personal development, working on yourself, because it can last forever, until you're 1999, and you are on your deathbed and you're like, did I really spend my life just thinking about myself and my conditions and my beliefs, which is nice and probably what I would do all my life, but that's not what I wish for you. I wish for you to have your dream life, dream body, dream self, dream experience your full potential, be yourself, enjoy this life to the fullest in harmony and beauty and all of that. So what you need to do is to start with a starting point that is clear in your mind of what you want to transform in your life, body, self, whatever, because it gives you a clear direction and it gives you a clear way to start with the part that actually blocks you, actually create something different into your life. So if you think I'm stuck in my masculine energy, okay, how does this represent and illustrate into your daily life? How do you see that you are stuck into your masculine energy? What's happening? What do you really want to transform? Okay, start with a starting point that is very concrete, very real in your life, and what you would like to embody and to manifest. And then from that, you can tell yourself, okay, from the starting point of what I see, what could I change in my daily life to embody differently? What is the one or two very small easily applicable actions, or even sometimes, because we always think about actions, but sometimes it's to stop doing something, and sometimes it's also just to start thinking differently, or to start noticing something and pausing when we notice that, it doesn't need to be a big action or something like that. But what can you embody differently in that specific topic of yours? Maybe it's just a ritual, a daily ritual of 5-10 minutes to get out of your head and come back to your body. That's why I really love meditation and self massage, facial massages, because it brings me back to my body, to my own hands, to myself for a minute, to the present moment. It takes me out of my self-aware, intelligent, creative mind that's constantly boiling, and it's amazing. But I also have a body. I also have an embodied structure in this life. And maybe for you, it's just a daily practice of pausing when you do something and you are unconsciously rushing because your nervous system is constantly feeling like he needs to go quick. You are doing the dish or something like that, putting doing the cooking or putting something on the table, and you feel yourself rushing, and then you just pause and remember, I can actually go slow. I can actually enter my own home, my own kitchen, or whatever, this coffee that I go to, like I'm going into a museum, and I'm honoring this moment, and I'm surrounded with beauty, and I'm just taking a moment to soak in and look around and be in the moment. I can actually choose to do that. Maybe this is just this for you, like noticing, going back to your femininity by the slowness and softness door. Maybe it's learning something. Maybe it's learning how to express yourself in a calm way so that you can feel tapping into that feminine energy instead of raising your voice, trying to be respected or whatever. Choose just the small embodiment that you can try in your daily life that makes the most sense for you regarding where you stand and where you want to go. There is a million things that you could try. um, if you need help, just reach out to me. I am an embodiment and identity coach. I love to do that. I love to push my clients a little bit further, and I'm good at this. I'm honestly a good person for you if you are struggling with any of this. You can book a free call with me. There is no sales push, no strings attached. So don't hesitate. Go to my website. You will see the link in my bio. And babe, you got this. See you in the next one.